1. Even before the anime existed, Chainsaw Man already had 2 official songs, Whistle Snake and Devil in Your Heart. 2. The manga takes place in 1997 in modern Japan. 3. Makima was the first character Fujimoto had a solid idea of in his mind. 4. Even though Fujimoto doesn't consider himself good at making action scenes, he felt he managed to pull off a good fight between Denji and Riz. 5. The song Little Dark Age became really popular within the Brazilian fandom after being used in many types of manga edits. 6. In the universe of the story, the Soviet Union never collapsed. 7. Makima was inspired by a story Fujimoto himself wrote back in high school. In that story, Makima was a character symbolizing domination. 8. The hell in Chainsaw Man was created with no religious inspiration, since that would limit possibilities. It was built to give the feeling of the incomprehensible. 9. Fujimoto is also the author of several other manga, such as Fire Punch. 10. In the bloody scenes, the organs are drawn unrealistically, so that everyone can look at them more comfortably. 11. When creating the design for the Gun Devil, Fujimoto made sure it didn't look like Barrel Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! 12. There are no smartphones or cell phones in this world, but landline phones do exist. 13. The reason cell phones don't exist is that they're so convenient they would make it harder to write a coherent story, according to Fujimoto. 14. In 2021, Fujimoto wrote an excellent one-shot, telling the story of 2 friends who became mangaka together. The story shows some of the struggles of the industry. 15. A chainsaw is a tool for cutting wood. If you cut the ki in Meikima, which means wood, you get the word Mama Denji was always chasing maternal things. 16. The Gun Devil could have been used as a narrative device known as a MacGuffin, serving only as motivation for the protagonist. 17. The Chainsaw Man anime will be released this year and is being produced by Studio Mappa, responsible for famous anime like Jujutsu Kaisen, Dorohedoro, and the 4th season of Attack on Titan. 18. The first Chainsaw Man trailer was pre-made, just like the one for Attack on Titan's 4th season. None of the scenes in it will be used in the final version of the anime. 19. But don't worry, even though the trailer was pre-made, it was made by the actual main team producing the anime, unlike what happened with Attack on Titan. 20. The anime's director was part of a movement to improve working conditions at Studio Mappa, which is known for exploiting its animators. 21. After gaining a bad reputation, Mappa promised not to exploit its employees during the anime's production and to improve working conditions. 22. The first result of that promise was the opening of a new office for the anime's production, aiming to provide good working conditions for the staff. 23. Fujimoto has a Twitter account where he pretends to be his sister. Fun fact, he doesn't actually have a sister. 24. God and some concepts were purposely excluded from the story. 25. Several anti-China posts were discovered on the Chainsaw Man anime director's profile, which made fans worry about the possibility of cancellation, similar to what happened with other anime. 26. Fujimoto wanted to simulate in his manga something that happens a lot in horror movies, a story where so many characters die that the audience starts wondering how the authors will keep killing them. 27. Riz is a character Fujimoto finds fun to draw, since drawing cute girls is a challenge for him. 28. Fujimoto says he has no experience with anime, which is why he decided to leave everything in Mappa's hands. 29. Rez was inspired by the anime film Jin-Ro, The Wolf Brigade, and there are several references to it. Fujimoto likes that the film deals with coming of age, but that it also has a character who is essentially evil. 30. Even though it's not a character, Kobeni's car was voted the 7th most popular character in the series, ranking higher than Kobeni herself. 31. There's an official comic strip showing Kishibe trying to win over Quanxi for years, until she finally comes out as a lesbian. 32. The manga received an official full-color release of all chapters, which are being translated into Portuguese by Pochita Scan. 33. Fujimoto doesn't plan on creating demons based on individual mythological beings, like a Satan devil or a Lucifer devil. The closest would be a demon devil, representing the fear of demons in general. 34. If a human devil existed and Chainsaw Man devoured it, it's likely all of humanity would disappear. 35. During her fight against Denji, Makima says the four horsemen Chainsaw Man fought are present there, but strangely, they aren't. 36. When facing Kishibe, Makima mentions what are supposedly those horsemen, but only names three: famine, war, and death. 37. Himeno was originally going to be Denji's partner, and wouldn't have died so early. 38. The editor thought the scene of Denji cooking Makima was too heavy to publish in Jump, but Fujimoto said he would post it on Twitter if they didn't publish it. 39. The Gun Devil's legs were ripped off the first time it was defeated. Those pieces were in the possession of the United States. 40. Fujimoto once asked the author of Spy X Family which character he'd want to survive, Angel or Kobeni. He answered Angel, so Fujimoto did the opposite. He killed Angel and let Kobeni live. 41. Fujimoto doesn't understand why Yoshida is so popular among fans. 42. Fujimoto considers his early works immature and doesn't think he deserved to make money from them. Humble. 43. Chainsaw Man's power will be better explored in Part 2 of the manga. 44. Fujimoto took advantage of the Chainsaw Man hiatus to create several one-shots, improving his storytelling skills. 45. Part 2 of the manga will be very different from Part 1, or at least that's how Fujimoto wants us to see it. 46. According to a leaker, the anime will be 50% CG and 50% 2D, prioritizing traditional animation without downplaying CG. 47. The hybrid devils will be CG. 48. CG will also be used for effects and backgrounds. 49. Yoshida will have more relevance in Part 2 of the manga. 50. Blood and organs are what Fujimoto most wants to draw in Part 2. 51. Fujimoto, like many mangaka in Japan, doesn't show his face. 52. Besides the manga, a few character light novels were produced, including one about Aki and Himeno, and another about Denji and power. 53. Fujimoto doesn't explain certain things, like the meaning of the astronauts in hell, because he thinks explaining everything would be treating the audience like idiots. 54. In chapter 259 of Boku no Hero, Denji appears in a crowd as an Easter egg. 55. In the fight against the Darkness Devil, some pages have their panels divided by the character's arms. 56. The second part of the manga is currently known as the School Arc. 57. Most hybrids, including Riz, are still alive and may return. 58. The continuation of the manga will be published on Manga Plus, an official app to read manga for free without piracy. It's likely the chapters will already come translated there. 59. Fujimoto once asked to put Chainsaw Man in the Avengers, rated 18+. Just a joke, of course. 60. Denji would be 42 years old in 2022. 61. There's a one-shot written by Fujimoto about a character named Nayuta. Besides the name, the character has an identical design to Chainsaw Man's Nayuta. 62. People born in April, July, and October aren't killed by the Gun Devil's ability. 63. This happens because the numbers representing those months in Japanese are the kanji shi, nana, and ju, which together form something like shina nai ju. Translated, it means won't die by the gun. 64. Makima has a painting of the Fool of Lucifer in her house. 65. The possible meaning of this painting is that, just like Lucifer, Denji had everything and was in paradise. But when he opened the door to Makima's house, he was expelled from that paradise. 66. Fiends are devils that possessed a human corpse. Meaning, when Denji fought Gun-Aki, Aki was already dead. 67. The only devil confirmed to be humanoid is the Spider Devil, but it's likely the Angel Devil and the Control Devil are as well. 68. Hybrids have much better regeneration than fiends. 69. Kwangshi still has the same appearance she had when Kishibe was young, which makes it fair to say she was already a hybrid back then. 70. Fujimoto has drawn what Captain America would look like in his style, or more precisely, a Captain America devil. 71. The Curse Devil was used twice to kill its target in exchange for a few years of the user's life. Both times it failed, and the user still lost years. 72. Aki shortened his lifespan twice, by using the Curse Devil and by holding Angel's hand. 73. Aki X Angel is one of the most accepted yaoi ships in Brazil, even approved by people who don't usually like that type of ship. 74. It's not impossible for Power to reincarnate as a man. 75. There was confusion in the fandom about Power's hair color, since at times she seemed to have pink hair. That confusion was cleared up in the anime trailer, which revealed her hair is blonde. 76. In an interview, Fujimoto said he likes tough and irrational women, and he wants to put women on a pedestal above men. 77. The scar on Kishibe's mouth was made by Quangxi. 78. Fujimoto is friends with the author of Jujutsu Kaisen. 79. Even without an anime, the Chainsaw Man fandom is so big that fans have already made several fight animations from the manga. 80. The song Devil in Your Heart from Chainsaw Man was made by the band Seam, the same one behind the last opening of Attack on Titan. 81. The famous Chainsaw Man meme O Futuro é Pica was translated to O Futuro é Demais in the Panini version, which makes more sense. 82. Before Panini's version, there was an online bait saying the translation was O Futuro é Supimpa, and that it was official from Panini. It was a joke, but it fooled a lot of people. 83. When Chainsaw Man launched in Brazil, it sold out on both Panini's and Amazon's websites. 84. When Makima and Denji go to the movies, she ends up crying at a drama film. This happens because the Control Devil always longed for a family, a desire Denji fulfills by adopting Nayuta. 85. In her first appearance, Kobeni said she had a contract with the devil, but we've never seen that devil to this day. 86. After being killed by Denji, Makima died again in hell. For a devil to reincarnate on Earth, they must go through this process of dying in hell. 87. The cover of the first Jump issue featuring Chainsaw Man shows Denji holding a chainsaw, with Makima's reflection looking scared in the same pose she makes when Denji surprises her in the final battle, a foreshadowing of her death. 88. On the Gun Devil's victim list, we see the names of several mangaka, including Isayama, creator of Attack on Titan. 89. Pochita was inspired by a red Makita chainsaw and looks almost identical to it. 90. Kishibe was inspired by actor Mads Mikkelsen and also looks almost identical to him. 91. Makima has 7 dogs, the same number of hybrids she controls. 92. The manga has introduced 51 devils so far. 93. The battle of Denji and Beam against Rays and Typhoon is filled with references to the movie Sharknado. 94. The Fish Devil, which Aki and Himeno defeated to obtain a piece of the Gun Devil, is a reference to the walking fish from Gyo, a famous horror manga by Junji Ito. 95. The arms torn off by the Darkness Devil form the word Makima. 96. It's still a mystery how Makima managed to defeat the Gun Devil. 97. The Angel Devil is the most controversial character in the whole series. 98. The Angel Devil was also based on classical paintings of angels from medieval and Renaissance times. 99. The best-selling product in the entire Chainsaw Man franchise, both in Japan and worldwide, is the Pochita plushie. These stuffed toys are sold everywhere and have become a real craze in Japan. 100. To create the devils in Chainsaw Man, the author drew inspiration from tarot cards and books on black magic. Besides horror movie references, he aimed to give them the most grotesque and terrifying look possible. We can clearly see that in the Darkness Devil, with all its limbs out of place.